boys. Welcome to the podcast, fellas.
Here we are.
Dude.
Rick, how was Greece?
Awesome. Cheers, gentlemen.
I think we're all jealous of that.
Dude. Pumped to be here, man. Pumped to see you guys.
Yeah, man. Glad we're here. Glad we're doing it. Been threatening to do it for how long?
Yeah, I know. You might want to change your drinks around. Bring it a little closer, Rick. Can everyone hear?
I can hear you.
Mics are good. Setup's good.
Sounds good.
Sick. Dude, so recently, what was it, last 2 weeks, we went to the Total Archery Challenge.
We did. Last week in May. Yeah.
Representing, dude.
Yeah, it was last weekend in May. And definitely an experience I think we were all looking forward to for quite some time. Definitely changed my perspective from somebody that's been doing it for literally over 30 years. Definitely changed my perspective on the whole, just the game and how to stay more in tune with it. Because I think a lot of us, you know, you shoot all before deer season, and then after deer season, you put your bow down, and you might play with it a little bit here and there. But most of us are, I was this way for years. I didn't touch it for months throughout the summer. And then, you know, when you brought this up going there, I was like, you know, that gives me a really good reason to shoot throughout the summer. And I feel more, I got more confidence this year, and I know we're still a couple months out from deer season, but I feel like now going into deer season, I'm going to be thinking less about the actual act of executing the shot and more about everything else. Because before it's like, all right, we've got all this, now I have to make this part happen. And it was like there was so much pressure on that. And now, especially after tack, some of those shots we made at tack, after that, I mean, I feel like that kind of really trained you well for that aspect of it.
I couldn't be more pumped. So Total Archery Challenge, I guess we should lay the back story, is a 3D archery shoot in the woods, in the mountains, in Seven Springs, Pennsylvania. So they use a mountain resort, ski resort, lodge, and all that jazz for setting up 3D targets throughout the mountain, and we walk around and shoot these targets. I had no idea what it even was until, like, I just kept hearing people talk about it in podcasts and other outlets, and I'm like, I gotta know what tack is. So I Googled it, and I'm like, whoa, there's one within a couple hours, 5 hours from here. And so that was, what, 3 years ago? This is my third one. So I was so pumped to have, like, a crew of guys from here travel up together and shoot together.
Yeah, that made it a whole trip, like, experience of just doing it all together.
And plus the verbal harassment throughout the day, and I mean that made it so much better. And yeah, just that, and you know, the house life back at home, and you know how we were all just hanging out, shooting and cooking food. That was, I mean, it was probably one of the better vacations I've been on in quite some time.
I look forward to it every year, man. The first year I went, I just happened to get random tickets that were spread out throughout, like, different courses and different times for my family. And then this was, I guess we got some last year that were pretty good lined up, but this year worked out perfect, where it's so busy when we sign up that one person pretty much has to take the reins and sign everyone up and and pray that you get the same knock times and everything, same courses, I should say.
Yeah.
So
Thanks for taking care of that.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, seasoned over here. You guys didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's why it's like, thank you, because if we all had to figure it out, it'd been like probably 25%.
Oh, there's no way we would have gotten that all coordinated.
It worked out. So we went with Dallas Harrington came, and Adam Hoffner.
Yep.
I don't think he's been on here yet, but that was a good group, you guys. And then we met my friends that I met there the first year, the Frontinos, which was awesome.
Yeah.
The greatest people.
Brent and Peepaw.
Yeah, dude. Hey, dude, the first course, that Be Real, he wasn't taking no slack.
Humped right up there.
Between that first and second target, I mean, being somebody who's never been there before, didn't have any idea what to expect, and I was, you know, thinking the targets are going to be hard. I'm not thinking that the height between the targets is going to almost take me out. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I think it was, a sheep at like 50, 55 yards or something was our first target. We all shoot it. Okay. And we go grab our arrows, and we're following the flags, and it's like, where does this go? It's just straight up.
I think it was like 250 feet or 300 feet of elevation in just that first
Yeah.
between the first target and the second target on the course called Be Real.
I'd say it might have even been more than that. Well, I don't know. I'm a Flatlander, so
Same.
It felt like 1,000 feet of elevation change to me.
All I'm thinking
It was a good bit.
I'm telling myself the whole time, pick your feet up, pick your feet up.
I was doing okay. I was struggling a little bit, but I was doing okay. And then Brent's dad, what's his name? Dave passed me at the ripe age of
62.
62. Just had a stroke last year, the year before. And then I got in my head, and that just didn't help matters at all. And I got mad at myself, like, I'm letting this old man beat me up this hill. And whew,
It's awesome.
He earned, oh, it was a blast.
It's awesome because it's a even though it is 3D targets, and I realize sometimes when I'm talking about it, I'm like, dude, they just think I'm crazy. It's just 3D targets in the woods. It sounds silly at the surface level, but then when you break it down and you're looking at the shots that are extremely difficult, and they place these targets behind trees or under logs or whatever it might be, or through brush, and then you add the physical aspect of walking through mountains, carrying your stuff. That's all good. Backpacking, carrying hydration, snacks. It's a physical and it's a taxing.
Yeah, it's mentally and physically challenging. Yeah. What do you think, Rick, as being a literal, I mean, you've never really shot, I mean, you shot a few 3D courses. You probably shot more 3D archery than I have, because I always just shot at stuff standing in my backyard and never really got to do the course experience until recently. But what do you think?
Well, yeah, so I had like super limited 3D experience before that. It was just maybe like one or two local shoots. And even the first one of those that I went to, dude, it taught me a lot and made like deficiencies in my setup like super obvious.
Yeah.
So then I went home and like kind of changed that. So then going into TAC for weeks, dude, it's all I could think about. I was like so excited for it. Told him like I was pumped that I got the second day because I wanted to go so bad. Then I was like, as soon as the spot opened up for me to be able to shoot the second day, I was all about it. But
That worked out so good.
It couldn't have been any better. Yeah.
yeah. So like, and I travel and I hike and stuff. So I was like, that the hiking wasn't even in my head. I was like, that'll be just like whatever. And I'm in tune with my bow right now. That's gonna be a piece of cake too, right? And I'm thinking more of like the local stuff. Like, there's not trees in the way. It's not up and down shots. So, yeah, it was sobering, real quick. You know, especially with that hike. You know, yeah, we're all going up, listening to each other huff and puff. In my head, I'm just going, I'm not going to be the one to complain, dude. I'm just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other. When we get to the top, I'm going to breathe and take a shot. And then when we got up there and everybody was like kind of talking about it, and I was like, okay, good.
Yeah, it was funny. Nobody
wanted to be that guy.
How gnarly it was.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
But yeah, it was, yeah, dude, I loved it. And to like get to the end of the whole thing for me was like it was exactly what it said, like total archery challenge. It was a weekend of archery and it was freaking challenging.
It was that.
Quads were burning, dude.
Yeah.
Calves were on fire. I thought it was a good time. I really see what we do. We did Be Real first, and that was a brand new course for us. I hadn't done that. It was a brand new course for this venue this year, and we were probably one of the first 20 groups to shoot it, I would think.
Yeah.
And just based on how much it wasn't matted down or anything, but the brush and stuff, I'm like, even though as good as I think I am and as much as I practiced and like kind of prep for this, it was like very humbling that, I mean, well, also the brush and stuff hadn't been cleared yet because we were helping clear it, but
well, but even the later targets that we shot in the afternoon on the second course and even the second day, I mean, they'd been matted down, they'd been trampled, and it didn't matter. You still couldn't, I mean, honestly, I'd even go as far as to say some of the ones on the first day where they still had some foliage in front of them, some of the harder shots where you had to take your arrow and go over something, it was actually a little, for me personally, it was easier because I was able to put my pin on a leaf or find something vegetation-wise where I knew I needed to hold here to get my arrow, even though what I wanted to hit was behind it, or you know, I needed to go over it, but it gave me another mark, so to speak, instead of just a bare tree or something like that to I don't know. It seemed to help me a little bit, but once we got in, I think the second day, I think I was just stressed. I was in my own head the second day.
It's rough, dude.
I mean, I would be
in my head the first day.
I'm glad that I kicked my own ass the second day. I'm glad that I got in my head, and because honestly, if I'd have gone, I shot really well the first day. I shot really good, and I felt like I had spent a lot of time practicing going into it. But also, I didn't know what to expect. So when I got there and I shot what I shot the first day, I was kind of had this like fake high of like, okay, this isn't that bad. I'm better at this than I think I am. And then I go out there the second day and just completely. I couldn't hit a target if it was. I couldn't hit a building if I was standing inside of it.
Yeah, you got to think though. The first day we shot 2 courses, but they were pretty challenging physically.
Extremely.
And we're out there in the sun all day, so we're fatigued.
Yep.
And then you guys slept in a little bit. We went on a turkey hunt early in the morning. And then we shot the hardest course there.
Yeah, on the thing.
And you got to think, too, I always thought about this, where, like, we were super tired because we were up at 3:30 in the morning. But also, our delay when the chairlift broke, all of that, walking back and forth, the sun was beating on us. That was until 1:30. And then we didn't get the shuttle until 2.
Yep.
So we were already behind. You're in your own head, too, because you guys were leaving, which
that didn't help.
It adds extra stress, which it's not really there on the surface level, but it's something you're thinking about. It's like a Sunday, and you're thinking about Monday.
Yeah.
It's like that little bit of just sucks.
Yep.
Anyhow, so there were some contributing factors, I think.
Yeah, but it's like anything else. And, you know, like I said, I'm actually glad that I lost almost all my arrows the second day. I'm glad that I did that because to me, it was humbling. I think I had more fun looking back at it after the second day than if you'd just taken the second day out of the equation and I shot like I did the both days. I would have not had as much fun as I did watching stuff sail off into the brush.
You did really good the first day.
Yeah, for me it was like the opposite. I lost like so many arrows the first day, and I was kind of like.
Second day you got her together.
Yeah, dude. The beginning of the second day, I was feeling it. I was shooting my leftover arrows, so I was like comfortable and I was making good shots, dude. And as soon as I had to change arrows, I just lost it.
That's how it goes. I was just praying I wasn't gonna have to borrow one from Dallas to finish the course. I think we had when I shot that last arrow on 24. Second to last target, and I heard it hit foam. I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to at least shoot the 25th target. Whether I hit it or not and I get my arrow back is a whole other story, but at least I can shoot this one with my own arrows.
So I took 11 arrows. How many did you take?
10.
10, okay.
I lost one here.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You had 11, and then we lost one. You had 10.
I only took 7 of the arrows that I was shooting because I was in the process of. Well, you guys know I had all kinds of issues with my string and everything right before we
got to tell the listeners. They don't know.
So I bought a new bow this year, and I guess I shot so much, I shot the factory string out of it, and then ordered a brand new gas bowstring, and 3 days into it, the serving started separating on it, shot started moving all around, so we put the factory string back on, but going back and forth between the weights and the strings, and one string I needed a 300 spine, and on the other string I needed a 340. So I wasn't sure which arrows, which string, what I was going to have on the bow. So I just took a little bit of both, and I ended up coming home with all the 300s I left with because I never shot them, but the 340s were fresh out of them.
So you didn't come home. You only came home with one?
No, because that one apparently on the last target somebody hit the knock on it and broke the tip off. I put a chip in the back of the carbon. So
you didn't bring a single arrow back other than the 300s.
Yeah, all the 340s that I left with that I was shot on. But I went through 7 arrows on 2 days.
That's not terrible.
So I felt.
I lost 5 total.
I expected to go through more than that, and I think some of that too, like we talked about later, was my components. I think I'm gonna make some component changes and the inserts, and I'm gonna play with the front end of the arrow a little bit. I think I can get some more durability out of it.
Hell yeah!
I'll build you some arrows.
As long as they're cheaper than the ones we get at Dante Pickle.
I came home with 5.
Yeah.
I bought a dozen when I got back, so I'm still shooting the same. Sorry, I lost 5, I'm still shooting the same 6 that I brought back. So I know it was awesome watching you fletch them at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think we were all at that point just zombies from the day, and Rick fletching arrows was. I mean, if anybody else probably been like watching paint dry, but we were just all so amused with it.
Dude, I had to get it done. In my head, I was like, I'm not going to be able to finish.
Oh, yeah, because you had to. It's not like you could do it in the morning either, because you were going turkey hunting the next morning.
Yeah.
We were up at I think 3:30. So I had a spring turkey tag from the leftover from the fall. I get a deer tag, and when you get a general tag in PA, it comes with a turkey tag. So my buddies Frontinos asked if we want to go on a turkey hunt, and we said yes, and we got up super early. I don't think I'd do that again. Do you?
Oh, I would.
Yeah?
Yeah. It was my first hunt, so
it was awesome. Great time.
It was a whole experience for me. So like going back down, if I was like a seasoned hunter and I've been hunting my whole life, and then looking back on it, be like, would you go again? Maybe not, but like, no, I enjoyed it and made I made like some lifetime memories that morning.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's mostly what it was about. I think, I don't know. I'm only saying I wouldn't go again because of how I was so taxed.
Yeah.
Like we just pushed ourselves so much on Thursday that Friday I was just cooked at the end of the day.
That'd be more one of those things you get up Saturday morning after we're all done and go hunt
It was
Saturday
tough.
morning. Yeah.
I mean, we were up 3:30 and then we stayed up until, I don't know, whatever. It doesn't matter. It was just a long day.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like you said, standing there waiting on the shuttle and everything, I think that probably was the worst part out of the whole thing.
Dude,
just the anxiety of it.
My favorite part though is, so I try to convince everyone to stay Friday night to Saturday and come home Saturday morning, which is fine. Hey, everyone can do their own thing, but I knew what would happen. And it's every time that you're waiting on a package that you're tracking the number, and it's going to be your Thursday, and you're looking forward to it. Every single time I do that, it never shows up. It's always delayed or something happens, and that's exactly what happened to the lift. Dallas, love him to death. That was hilarious. I wish he would have tried to flip him money though.
It was better though. That
He should have.
I think that made it better, because if we'd all been standing around there bummed out, I think it would have been, we would have all been frustrated. But having him like so jacked up about it, and like worrying about it, I think we all found the humor in that, and it gave us collectively something too.
That was awesome. Dallas kept going to the chairlift guy. There's a guy that operates the chairlift and lets groups. He looks at your knock time and lets you guys up on the chairlift, so that way people are staged throughout the shoots and it's not jam packed. And he kept walking up to the guy and be like, "Hey, can we get on there? Can we get on there? Can we get on there?" Early, trying to get on there, 15 or 20 minutes early. And the guy was like,
any time before he was allowed.
yeah.
And the lift wasn't even moving.
And then it was broke. And then they had us sitting in the line for the lift. Then they had us over at the bus line for the shuttle. Mm-hmm. And then I think that it wasn't. We stayed there the whole time.
We stayed.
Somebody else had to go.
Other groups left there.
Back to the lift, and then it broke again.
And then because he was so in such a hurry to be the first one, we were the first ones. Of course, we got on the bus first, so we had to go all the way to the back of the bus.
We didn't have to.
Well, I guess we didn't have to.
Somebody went all the way to the back of the bus.
We didn't have to, but it was the right thing to do, I think.
And we
shot
of course,
the course.
Then when we get to the course, everybody gets off the bus before us, and now we're sitting there watching 40 guys that we have to shoot behind. So that
hilarious.
We got to see a show.
Yeah, we did get to see a show. We almost got to see a real show.
That was awesome. I mean, it's just the nature of the beast. I'd do it again, but that's one thing that I just know myself. I get anxiety, like looking forward to like the next day and traveling or whatever it is, and I'm like, I just gotta give myself that buffer to let my brain process.
I mean, my intentions the whole time were to stay up there and come back the next day, but you know, with life things, didn't work out that way.
It's all good, dude.
We had to come back, and fortunately, you know, everything worked out the way it did, and you guys were able to stay with the Frontinos that night. And when we left, I dropped Dallas off in Kent Island where his family was. His wife and his kids were all in Kent Island, and literally I got back on the highway and Adam was right behind me, so had somebody to ride home with, you know, just in case something happened. But it all worked out. But yeah, never do that again. That was that 5-hour drive turned into the longest 8 hours of my life.
Yeah, I'd rather get up and go turkey hunting early than have to drive home late.
Dude, we got back to the Frontinos after that shoot, because we shot knock on Friday. Dude, what do they have? Ribeyes, mashed potatoes, or a full
Roasted
spread.
potatoes or whatever.
Absolutely ridiculous. They fed us, got hot showers.
We got many corn dogs on the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Hey, whatever works. It worked out. They took care of us, and then we ended up having breakfast the next morning with them too.
Mm-hmm.
They fed us. We probably gained a few pounds up there, honestly.
I could use it.
Yeah, that was awesome, man.
That was a good time.
So the knock-on course on Friday is what was it? 100 yards, 115 yards to the Sasquatch, the first target across the runway.
I believe it was 115.
Yeah.
Was it that far? I thought it was only like 90 something. But yeah, man, yeah, that sounds right. But yeah, that one was that's how we started the course was that 115 yard shot across the thing. And
Yeah.
I loved it because I told him before he went, I was like, dude, I can do 24 inches no problem at 100 yards. And I saw like an 18-foot Sasquatch, so I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
And watching everybody in front of us was a show as well. Because you take for granted, you kind of get in your own little bubble with the people that you shoot with, and we're not by any means like gatekeepers or anything like that. Like, everybody's welcome to shoot with us, but it seems like the crew that does shoot with us and shoots around, we all have a fairly decent understanding of what's going on, even the guys that like Rick that are fairly new. But man, watching some of those guys shoot, and I'm not making fun or not picking fun at people, but just some of the things that I saw was.
You gotta start somewhere, though. I watched you sail one through the ceiling of Dallas's shot. I'm just saying.
And to add to that too, of like
anxiety,
you get used to shooting around like your buddies and stuff, and like, I mean, people don't like talking in public or you know what I mean, having eyes on them. So you get off a bus and there's like 50 guys behind you. You're assuming they're all like badass archers, been doing it their whole life. You have no idea. So you get up there, you're trying to make this long shot. You're in your head. All these people are looking at you. And so if you're not able to clear your head and get your job done, it's gonna be really,
Dude, I even put my guard down. Honestly, like the first target, I was just comfortable with everyone around me. That my accuracy was suffering because I was comfortable. The first year I went, I was a newer archer, and I was so dead set on executing and looking like I wanted not that I was trying to show off, but I wanted to make sure that I was thinking where I was supposed to be. Like, I needed to belong there, and I didn't want to let my guard down in that situation.
You didn't
want
to look like you didn't belong there.
That's how I felt.
Yeah,
like that you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing. You don't want to look like an idiot.
I was comfortable with the group of guys, and I was like, I realized that the one target, I'm like 43 yards. I pulled back. Dude, so confident, and sailed one right in the middle of a tree.
Perfectly. You couldn't have centered it in a tree better.
I still cannot believe that I did that. And I'm like,
I don't know how I did it.
I don't either. But you know what I think? I mean, I just got comfortable, and I was telling you guys earlier, I'm, just so focused on other things, I'm letting other things slack, and it's easy to do.
Complacent.
But you're also hanging out with your buddies you haven't seen in a while, so you're in the woods talking, and how's the family, blah, 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 and that's how things happen. We watched the guy in front of us not load an arrow and draw back, and I've done that. I've actually let it rip and blew it up, just talking to friends. So, not a good feeling, but it's until you do it.
If we were out there like with a group of strangers and it was for $100, we would have all shot completely different than we were out there with our buddies
100%.
Shooting for bragging rights about people that we don't really care about bragging in front of.
Still $20 in the line though.
Yeah, it was, but you know what I mean. Like for me, I like. And maybe that's just me, but that's how I am. Like, if I'm out golfing with friends and stuff, it's more about goofing off, having beers.
That's what it was for me.
With my buddies. Mm-hmm. I don't care how I shoot golf, but if it's like an actual competition or I'm like you're saying, if I'm playing with like strangers and it's like, well, I don't want to be the guy that we're looking for my ball in the woods. I'm gonna get up here and make a good shot.
Yeah.
Well, and also I was a newer archer, so I was thinking like, I don't want them to ask me my archery history and we'd be like, yeah, I've only been shooting it for a year, and everyone's expectation at that point is like, oh, here we go, like this guy. You know what I mean? It's totally different when you're pulling 10 ringers out and you're like, Yeah, been shooting a year. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what. Like, I wasn't trying to flex or anything. And I wasn't even shooting 10s at that point. I'm just saying, like, I didn't want to look like I'm sailing him into trees and stuff.
Well, I mean, I've been shooting bows for over 30 years, and you know, this, like I said, this was my first TAC event, and one of very few 3D events I'd shot to that point. I mean, I've still only shot a few at this point, but I felt the same way. It wasn't, and I felt like you talk about with golf, like there's a certain etiquette and a certain motion or rhythm or whatever, and you don't want to be that guy that, you know, even though I knew how to shoot,
like breaking the flow of what's going on around you.
Yeah, like just, I don't know. And that was until it was better because you were kind of our guy, and we all came into it with the expectation that none of us had done it before except for you. So I didn't feel like I was going to be that guy that's like, everybody's like, oh no, over here. You know what I mean? Like, I never felt that way. So it was, but I did have some anxiety about that going into it. But after getting there and seeing the crowds, I'm like, all right, well, there's definitely people better and worse than me here. So I did, like, all that went out the window as soon as we got there. But
that's what I always think to myself. Like, even though I think not that I think it, but like even when I think there's always somebody better than me. You know,
absolutely.
I'm like, I'll just accept it. You know, not that I'm gonna not be competitive. I still like to be competitive, and there's still that dog in me. But you know,
you know, with the internet today and social media and everything, it was interesting to go and shoot, and then go back days later when everybody came back and kind of collected their thoughts, and even like you're talking about the guys that we watch on the internet, and some of these guys are way more famous, Scott Evans and the guy from Podium, watching them shoot, and Chris from Be Real, watching him do a video on the Be Real course, talking about and like I'm like, watch that, and I'm like, man, okay, now I feel, you know, I don't feel like I did any better or any worse than these guys did, and they're the quote unquote experts, or you know, so it's like,
they're the face of the industry.
Yes, the face of the industry,
Yeah.
and you're like, okay, not that they probably couldn't go out there and absolutely wax me on the course, but they were losing arrows, they were missing targets, they were forgetting to dial, you know, they did made all the same mistakes that we did, and I think we all, at least I know I had at least one where I went up there just as confident as I could be, drew back and let her rip, and I'm like, how did I miss that low? And look at my tape, and 62 yards, and my tape is at 35. Oh,
That'll do it.
I forgot. But these guys, you know, it's like you get in your head, and like, oh, that's a rookie mistake, and then you watch these guys, and it's good for the sport because it makes everybody, it kind of levels the playing field for everybody. You know, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes rookie mistakes, so to speak.
That's what like every industry needs, like, because we live in that society of like filters on the face and people only showing their like successes. Like, so I mean, it is beautiful, and it was great. Like, again, like this end of the second day, I was in my head a little bit, like, wasn't mad, you know what I mean, but I was just like disappointed that's how it ended and stuff. Yep. But you know, you guys were like, dude, chill. Like,
you're with a group of killers.
Right? And I've been shooting 6 months, and,
dude,
and I survived. So like, yeah.
What else was I get ready to say? One, I want to make a point real quick is not to your point. Not everyone. Some people it shows that misses and the genuine part of it.
Not everybody,
but not everyone does that, and that's what pushes us to be where we're at. With I can't miss. I'm going to be, you know. Nobody shows their misses online. Like, maybe they do, but a lot of them don't. I thought John Dudley was like this holy grail until I shot knock on with him last year, and he missed the Sasquatch, and we hammered them. And I'm like, all right, he's human. You know what? He makes mistakes too.
Well,
how it goes.
It brings you back to reality because, again, you know, sure, Levi Morgan is the best in the world. You know, you can argue that or whatever, but he has his days where he yanks one or flinches or slaps a tape, forgets to set his tape. You know, I'm sure he has those. You know, Levi Morgan, Paige Pierce. You pick your professional. I mean, they all have their moments, but like anything else, you know, repetition. You know.
Yeah, dude, and that's what I was gonna say. The next thing was the last time you were in here. you took the Torx off the wall and took it and ran with it. Dude, fell in love with it like I'd hoped he would. And here you are 6 months later. Yeah. I'm so pumped to like have the backstory to that. Like you got the boat on the podcast.
Yeah.
Took it home.
Beginning of the year.
So badass, dude.
What a ride it's been so far.
And you haven't even gotten to deer season yet. Just wait.
No.
Dude, incredible journey though.
If you think it's fun now, just wait.
Yeah.
Just
that's
wait.
That's why I'm hammering every day. So if I get the opportunity.
Like you said,
your learning curve and what you're doing at 6 months in, I was at a year and a half probably to where you're at, I would think. Like, I'm totally blown away at how quickly you've gotten the hang of it.
Yeah.
For real.
Got great access to information with the internet and, you know, mentors close to me of guys that have been shooting, whether it's been 30 years or 5 years.
Don't look at me, dude.
No, but I'm like, you know what I mean? But I've learned from you, you know what I mean? And then there's been stuff, like, even in my short journey into it that I'll be talking about, and you'll be like, dang, I've never heard it that way, or, you know what I mean? Like, so, just, you know, I think a little bit of my own, like, drive and genuine curiosity about it, but just having, you know, the homies around, and it definitely helps.
Having the people that, you know, like you said, because you're even teaching me things. And like I said, I've been not shooting consecutively for 30 years, but I've been in and around archery, shooting bows since I was a little kid, and never spent as much time dedicated as I had probably got in the last 3 or 4 or 5 years. But watching somebody new come into it and just watching the things that you pick up on, there's even things where I'm like, and like I said, I've been doing this a long time, and there's fresh eyes, you know, new broom sweeps clean type thing, where you come in and you look at things differently, and there's little things where I'm like, I may have forgotten about that, or it's something fundamental, but working and shooting with somebody that's new kind of brings you back to it, and I think it's good for everybody. It makes the foundation of what you're doing so much more firm when you're watching somebody else learn it again, and it makes you relearn it all the same.
Yeah, because I mean, I've had it with other things in my life. Like you said, like you kind of get more advanced into whatever it is, a sport or a hobby, and you kind of forget about. You don't forget, but the fundamentals. Say there's like 5 of them, and like throughout your path, you make 4 of them really good habits, and that one kind of like slept through or whatever. So yeah. When you see somebody new doing it and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot, like that is a huge part of this, and you like right back into the repertoire, and then like that might like elevate whatever you're doing at the moment.
Dude, it lights my fire. Just it's one other person in the archery community where like now I can be like, hey, you guys want to go hit this 3D shoot locally? And you're like, yeah, cool, or whatever. But it forces us to level up to, like, even though it's a soft competition, nobody wants to get beat at something they're passionate about, or like it's just like golf. Yeah, literally, it's like, or compare it to whatever it is that your hobby is.
Yeah, like for me, like preparing and shooting as much as I did before TAC was like, because I again was like in front of the crowd of 50 guys, or just the 5 that I was with. I was like, I want to be able to perform. Like, I don't have to win, but I want to be there and like, you know,
on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's just like getting a new target. Every time I get a new target, dude, it relights my fire, and I'm out there hammering shots.
Blow the bullseye out.
I love it.
Trying to cut that 12 ring clean out of it.
It just relights my whole fire, though, for the next week or two. You know, not that it burns out, but it's like, it just, for that, I don't know. I look forward to those events and all that stuff. It just rekindles it.
Well, and now it's also done for us is, you know, it's opened up too. We're starting to see, you know, you talk to people about this, and not only through a podcast, but just in, you know, we were all putting stuff on social media, and people were seeing it. I can't tell you how many people I had message me like, "What's that? Where's that? That looks awesome. You know, I want to go do that." And I think I had said it a few times when we were up there, like, man, I would love to have something. Obviously, not to that level, but something more than what we have, because I feel like we have a lot of opportunity up in Delaware and up in Pennsylvania with Lancaster Archery being right there. It's 3.5 hours away, and you've got the Mid-Dell clubs, which there's Seaford, Harrington, and then another one
Are they together? How is the Middale?
I'm not sure. Middale is its own club, but there's like 3 or 4, and I say it wrong. I lump them all. I just say Middale.
Okay. Well,
because I like when I see the schedule, it says like Middale Archers on the top, and it has all the different places. But we have that access with there, but we're also finding out that there's a lot more people locally that are interested in this, and I feel like we may have ignited a spark locally to kind of bring more of this. And like to your point that you were just saying, you know, we're shooting give or take with like 10 guys, and the more we bring in, the more talent we have, the better it makes us all become, you know, because you're the best out of 10 guys, you're not going anywhere, but you get in, take those 10 guys and throw them into 10 more groups of 10 guys, you're not the best anymore.
Exactly.
So now you're working, and that's why, you know, I personally always want to shoot with somebody that's killing me, that's destroying me, because it makes me
want to be better.
And that's the only way I'll get better. If I end up shooting with a bunch of guys that are not, they're, you know, lucky if they hit foam, you get complacent. You're like, I just got to get it on there. But
exactly.
Now it's like, I'm excited to see what it happens in the future. We get more interest and we get some guys that are.
Dude, hopefully it works out with this Cinepunction deal with the Gun and Rod Club.
Yeah.
I had a great idea yesterday. We go out there.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but yeah.
We should, dude. Let's try to get more people involved.
I mean, absolutely.
So we hold the 4-H archery for Worcester County at the the Cinepunction Gun and Rod Club, and I was like, dude, looking at Onyx, I'm like, they have like a ton of acreage around here. If maybe I can pitch it to them and see if we can get a local spot to shoot 3D archery. If we can kind of get it together or get some, I don't know how we can structure it, but I'm hoping. I had a guy in here earlier today, there's a builder, and he was like, dude, I'll sponsor a target or a lane or whatever. And I was like, already interest in it. So that's my hope, is we can cut some lanes and
I
get
got a guy that's going to cut the lanes for you.
Okay, well, is it going to be you?
Yeah.
I figured.
Are we looking at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could take care of the lanes. I mean, that stuff. But yeah, it's definitely.
But we're the guys for that. It's all in our wheelhouse. We have all the equipment. We have all the stuff. We have the manpower, the
knowledge.
We have it all
to want to do it.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, looking at some older guys in this club, and it's badass. I love seeing it. But I'm like, well, somebody's got to carry the torch at some point, and the gun and rod and the archery should coincide. Everyone's the same like-minded individual, so we're all hunters. We're all doing the thing. Whether it's traditional archery or compound bows or shooting skeet, it kind of coincides, and I hope it relights their fire as a club. They're like, oh, it's right, my traditional bow's in my wall for 20 years. Let me go pull it down and see what this is about again. So I'm hoping that really lights a fire.
Well, and I think that there's, in my experience, I mean, I grew up going to like rod clubs or like gun clubs like that, like the Salisbury Gun Club with my dad, and you know, I remember going there when I was a kid. There was 4 skeet houses and like 4 trap houses. That was it. And now they've kind of metastasized, and now they've got 22s and long range and pistol, and I don't know if they do archery out there at the gun club at Salisbury or not, but it's, you know, some of those places have grown and have kind of kept it exciting for the younger crowd, and some of the other places are kind of going by the wayside. So it's good to see. I think a lot of that though was, you know, the membership. No, we don't want that. No, we don't do that. We don't want that. And they were kind of had their head buried in the sand, and they didn't want to open up to other ideas. And I think a lot of those gun clubs went by the wayside, and these guys saw that coming, saw that happening. And I to me, it seems like they seem receptive because they don't want to lose the heritage of the club. And it, to us, I've been there a handful of times over the years, but it is a nice little place, and it would be the ideal place to do that. And it, you know, once you start doing that, now you're also bringing that club back into the spotlight. You're getting foot traffic in there. You're advertising for it, and now people, they have a skeet range right here.
That's what my point was.
Right here in Berlin.
Because everything kind of jives together. We can get more kids involved. That's the biggest thing, dude. I watch these kids. So now I'm the 4-H instructor for Worcester County. 4-H archery instructor. There's a guy, Dennis, that does the shotguns for the clays and stuff. Mm-hmm. So we meet once a month, and we let these kids shoot bows and shoot shotguns. And seeing them pull those things back and actually hit the targets, it's just like watching anybody do it. It's incredible. And they're like, their satisfaction of them, like, I did it. I'm like, that is awesome. Now we can hone it in, you know? So it's like, if there's more places for that to happen, we're shooting once a month, you know? Like, if at a couple of targets, I don't know. There's definitely room for growth. And we look at like Nanacoke. So there's a couple that I follow the most. CJ hasn't been doing his winks.
Right.
Normally he does one. I haven't seen anything posted. But I follow Nanacoke, and Owen Station is pretty good. And then Tuckahoe is one of my favorites because it's the most elevation change.
Yeah.
And then
Middale.
I haven't done any of those though. But I'm trying to think if I've done any more. I think those are the only ones I've done. But I don't know much about the Middale thing because I haven't explored it.
Yeah, I haven't really looked into it a whole lot myself. I just know that, like, when I sent you, when that schedule came out, and they have I thought they were all wrapped into the same organization because, like, when the schedule comes out, it shows each course and what day of the month. It seems like they shoot, best I can gather, it's like the first Monday or the first Sunday is one club, second Sunday is the other club, and they all have their own.
I was to say, everyone seems like they work around each other's schedules, so that way we can all go to each one's event.
Yeah.
But I think that'd be awesome, and then even so much so, I was like, well, even if we don't get 15 or 20 targets out there, say they just are like, you know what, let's just put out some like 4 archery houses that they're 30, 20, 30, and 50 or whatever.
Just a place.
Arbitrary numbers. How awesome was that public range that we went to in Pennsylvania?
Just about to bring up.
Yeah.
Even if we had that.
Because we don't have that doesn't exist around here. I mean, you know, a place to go shoot your bow or really your rifle.
Well, there's a couple ranges.
Well, there is, but they're all. I mean, we all grew up, or I grew up here. Were you from here originally, Rick? So you know, we've always had a couple of ranges around. We had Gunsmoke out there in Willards, John, and then we had the place in Vienna. Zeke's, and then there used to be another one down in Nanacoke called Dave's Sports Shop, but they're all pay ranges, which is fine. What I thought was interesting was I spent a brief portion of my life in Nevada, northern Nevada, and they had a 900-yard public range, no gate, you just go like this range was, and I kind of forgot about it. And then as soon as we pulled up there, I remember that being the first thing that popped into my mind. I was like, man, and I know I had to have said it, like, this is just like what we had in Nevada. But it was a public archery range where you could go shoot from 10 to, 50 yards, I think? Mm-hmm. And everything was...
20 to 50.
Yeah, 20 to 50 yards. And everything was covered, concrete. It was a nice setup. And, you know, for the average guy that doesn't have a 3D target or lives in an apartment, doesn't have a place to go shoot, you know, you're limited around here to most indoor ranges. I think our longest indoor range around here, I think CJ's got one that's maybe 30 yards.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think his is like 30.
I think his goes out to 30, but I mean, that's the longest indoor place that you have to shoot. So if you're new and you're practicing, you have nowhere to go. Up there, it was awesome for them to have that public archery range. You just drive down the road. There it is.
As soon as we pulled over, we're like, what are we pulling over for? You know, did you see that sign? Like, no, let's go check it out then.
We all got bows.
Dude, I thought it was going to be a hay bale, like, in the middle of a field. That was nice.
That was a very nice range.
That was a very nice range.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have...
paid for by taxes on ammunition.
Well, taxes on ammunition and
Where's
licenses.
ours going?
Yeah, good
Somebody's
question.
pocket.
Good question. You know, and I did, you know, it made me think, you know, I need to talk to Kaylee about, like, how do we get that working around here? How do we get stuff like that where...
There's got to be something.
You know, take some of this money that... I know, I'd like to think that a lot of our license money and tax ammunition and stuff like that...
It's supposed to.
It's supposed to go back. I don't know.
That's what the Pope and Young thing is for, right? There's like a tax on all of hunting sales that goes towards that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all of your hunting license, your stamps, all that stuff is supposed to go back. But
where's the thing, though?
that's just it.
We don't have anything that shows. I mean, at the same time, I don't know.
I don't know
I think,
either. I'm just
I think a lot of it, you know,
Nothing
if
in
you go
our
down,
face.
if you go down, go to Berlin, go out like you're going back towards Liberty Town. You know, they just put there's that public hunt property there on the left-hand side, and they just put that giant parking lot in out front, that big park area. And I know that's kind of where the money's going, but recently there's definitely not been any infrastructure around for the outdoors. I'd actually say it's going the other way. They're as hard as they can go taking stuff away from us, and even to the tune of just shooting. You know, it's hard to just shoot anymore. It's hard to just go practice.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, archery, the hunting sports, all of it somehow unfortunately got a bad name, and I mean, they're Olympic sports.
Yeah.
And we have nowhere to go play, nowhere to go practice, unless you're willing to pay.
Hopefully we can work out, dude. They were very receptive, and
Well, that's a good thing, is that they were receptive, because, like I said,
Joe, he's not the president. He's the second in command. But he's the guy that helps facilitate the 4-H group meet there. So they open it up once a month for us to meet there, and we hold our club meeting there. So these kids have their little meeting, and they adjourn it and do all the the formalities, which is awesome. Talking about events and upcoming events and future things, old business, whatever. And we actually held yesterday was Flag Day, so we had a flag retirement ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Showed the kids how to do that. That was awesome. I've never been a part of one of those, so apparently it's more of a Boy Scout type thing, but it kind of coincided with 4-H, so they hosted it. So we retired flags, and anyhow, it was just awesome. I saw the opportunity to talk to them, talk to Jeff, is the president now, said come in August with a plan, and we can all four, show up and lay it out there with actual manpower that are gonna. Because I think they thought I was talking a big game, but I'm like, I know I have my buddies that are like badasses we have equipment and chainsaws and all the stuff. We will absolutely make this happen. Yeah. And I think there's enough public support or we have enough connection between all of us, even if we self-fund it with business support locally, we know enough people to help get it off the ground.
I don't think you'd have, even if we did have to self-fund it, I think we could be
self-funding with just minimum fundraising.
Yes, I'm saying minimum fundraising with our connection.
We could
but I don't think, after you get over the initial upfront cost, I mean, the cost of maintenance to maintain it's not going to be bad at all. So that'll be nice, but it would be nice to have some help. But I definitely think with the area that we're in, and the amount of hunting and outdoor sports that, I mean, look, Dallas sells all those bows every year for a reason. There's people shooting them, and I'm sure that those people would all love to have more area. And that, like you say earlier too, we were talking about that club, it's glad to hear that they are receptive, because those guys, they know that their time is coming to an end in that aspect.
Dude, and I think about this a lot. I don't think about my age or my physical look very often. I always feel like I'm like 25 or 18 or whatever. I never feel my age, right? I act goofy and say weird stuff and whatever. But it's going to take us getting in the arena at some point, no matter what facet it is or whatever avenue it is, to continue traditions and continue to run things. So this isn't like my stance or anything, but I kind of got to do my part. And even if it's uncomfortable, usually things that I don't necessarily like to do or whatever, it seems like an inconvenience. Like when I first got this volunteer archery thing, I was like, my kids are involved, so it's personal to me, and I wanted to be a part of it. But when I'm looking at these kids and I'm seeing how much they're lighting up and how much it actually means to them, they're shooting these bows, I'm like, it freaking means something, dude. And they come up to me at the end and they shake my hand and look me in the eye, and I'm like, dude, it means something. Even if it is pulling a bow back or pulling an arrow back and letting this thing rip, it means more than the surface level of what we think at first. So I don't know. That's enough for me to push forward and just keep doing what I'm doing. I'm not gonna do anything more, anything extra. I'm just gonna, wherever it takes me is where I'm gonna go. So
I definitely see it helping me a lot. It's like you said, past the surface level of teaches you a lot of things, teaches you discipline, and it's you can. When we were just out there shooting earlier, you almost instantly know if you did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's instant feedback, but it's definitely I'm interested to see. I'm curious. I'm really excited to see how this goes moving forward with the kids and 4-H thing.
Even our local community, I'm like, I know that our community, like, just even Dallas is a grand opening for the new bow shop. There's so many dudes that came in there to support it.
Yep.
They're going to be the ones that show up to do that type of thing.
Yep.
So, I don't know. Even though it is 3D targets, I think I don't know, I keep saying it's silly. It's not. It's so much fun, and it helps train you for real life conditions, you know? Even like the hill that you were talking about. It's like, you might experience that on a public hunt or something, you know?
On an elk hunt, absolutely.
You never know.
I mean, you guys probably could have experienced it that morning on a turkey hunt.
Mm-hmm.
We don't experience it around here because we don't really have hills. But for anybody that does travel and hunts in different areas, you know, you're definitely going to see that. But I think the one thing I will say about it is it definitely opened my eyes to what I'm capable of. There was a lot of things that, and not to say that I would ever make those shots or would ever even attempt those shots for ethical reasons, but there was a lot of shots where, you know, you look at the target, like, he can't hit that. And then somebody goes up there and hits it, and you're like, oh, I guess you can. And, you know, you're always pushing, you know, the difficulty level made it, you know, if they were all just 25-yard foam standing there, it wouldn't have been fun. But watching Rick sail one between two trees and over a log and land it right there in the 12 ring, I mean, that's kind of cool, especially if somebody's only been shooting for 6 months.
Yeah.
Figuring it all out.
No, I mean, there was like a time of shooting tack where I was like, dude, this is like a little too difficult. But then at the end of it, I was like thinking about it, like the ones here back at, like where they're close and there's nothing in between. And I was like, if that was what we were doing all day, we would have been bored.
Yep.
It was the fact that it's like watching, you know, race cars go around. It's like, dude, one of them might slide off.
Yeah, you're waiting for the wreck.
You know, maybe not necessarily, but yeah, dude, you're watching because you know you don't know. It's not easy peasy where you're like, oh, everybody's gonna hit the phone. We'll just walk up there and see who's closest. It's like, well, let's watch and make sure everybody's gonna hit the phone first.
Yeah.
Well, and how many did we walk up to and go, oh, that's at 60 yards? And it wasn't at 60 yards because you can't catch it because of the grass in front or the mountain in the back. And
animals aren't real, like they might be a different size.
That's the most humbling is when you get up there and you're like, it's only this big. And you're sitting there looking at it through like 12 by 50 binos, and it looks giant. Whatever yardage, it's very humbling. That's what I was gonna say with the knock-on course. Even though they were say flat on that runway. That one was like 87 yards, and we all ranged it like 50 or something, or whatever. I think I sailed one past it, or whatever it was. But
yeah, because the way the target was sitting behind the berm and the grass was on the front of the berm, and you would either range the grass in front or the rock behind it, but it's really difficult to get a range on the deer.
Some of the ranges were very difficult. You're trying to get like the head, top of the ear.
Yeah, like I remember one where like trying to shimmy up a tree and hold the rangefinder so you can, you know, get a better elevation so you can get clear of all the sticks and stuff that were in the way. Rick, what do you think, being a new archer and new bow hunter, what do you think was the one thing that was you planned for but was completely different when you got there?
Just I want to say the shots. Like, I thought because of in my head, the couple that I'd done, I thought I was going to get clear shots. And I thought it was going to be the distance and elevation, which I was like, oh, that'll be challenging enough. But, you know, there was targets that, being a shorter guy, that I couldn't even see. But, you know, bending at them, and I'm like, oh, it's a whatever. And I'm like, but where is it? You know?
That's another thing that I didn't really think about, was I can see over stuff, but I'm also clipping lots of branches.
Oh yeah, there was definitely. I don't remember which target exactly it was, but a couple of the taller guys, you guys went first, and you were hitting your branch.
Hit the branch, yeah.
And I walked right up there, and I was like, not even an issue. Bam.
Yep, I remember it was the second day I shot one, and I'm like, I'm gonna stand over here because I can sail it over this. Like the log kind of went down at an angle, and I'm like, I can get over here and get it around that log a little better. And when I shot, my arrow clipped the branch that was hanging down from the top. I'm like, I didn't even look at that.
That's the most frustrated I've been in a long time. Is those branches that you don't see. That just come out of nowhere and your arrow is like wrecked.
But yeah, I'm like you. I spent a lot of time shooting at 60 plus, like for the 2 weeks before we went up there.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make sure that if I had ranged something that was 85, I could at least put it on the phone.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for the elevation either.
The elevation,
because my rangefinder doesn't calculate it for me, so
yeah, it's hard to shoot the cut when you don't have.
yeah, like no excuses, and I shot fine for it all. But it was one of those things of like, it took a little bit of the confidence out of it for me, you know, because I was like, okay, well it says 63, but that thing's like, you know,
Yeah.
12 degrees up.
Well, I think too, in that scenario where you had he's got the elevation adjustment, and I had it on mine. You know, I know there was a couple targets where him and I were talking about it, and I don't know if it was Dallas or Adam, their rangefinders wouldn't. I think it was Adams wouldn't give him the elevation difference.
But how about the times that, like, I'd say I would range it and be like, all right, I'm shooting for 63, and you're like, dude, I got it for 54, and then somebody else has it for 54, and somebody else has it for 63. And we're like,
there was one of them we all had. There was like a 7 to 8 degree or yard difference,
Yeah.
and it ended up being the lower one.
Yeah,
Everybody was
that's
shooting for like 60.
That's the one I was talking about. It was out there on the runway. And
frustrating.
We were all either catching. No, when I ranged it at like 64, and it was the grass or the rock behind it that we were picking up. And that's what I was talking about. You couldn't like get a good
right over it.
But yeah.
What did you expect it to be?
I heard you guys say, or I heard you say a bunch of times going up that, you know, tight shots, you know, a lot of obstacles in the way, and I had no expectations of I was just expecting a delta target out there at 50 yards, just grip it and rip it. I was not expecting there to be 15 trees laying down, and you know, you had to stand on a tree stump on 1 foot and thread the needle to get it in 11 range.
Yeah, keep a foot on the cone, so you're kind of like leaning over to get around this tree.
But I think that was, and it's hard for us to even practice like what you're talking about with the elevation changes. And I did little things I thought would help, and in retrospect, what elevation changes I did were, it's laughable now. Like going back and looking at it, you know, I was like standing on top of my house.
Hard for us.
Yeah, but just because we don't have the ability to do it, but like I was like standing on the roof of my shed, where, you know, uneven footing and trying to shoot like that. But it was more, I think, my footing that was throwing me off than the target being up and down. That's what bothered me the most. And Adam was really, really good about picking up that and pointing it out, like, hey, check your bubble. And you get up there and you draw your bow, and everything would feel perfect. And you look at your bubble, and your bow's canted 5 degrees out of levels or plums. And you stop, and you have to take everything back in to bring everything back in. You find out you have to move your whole body, not just your wrist. And I think that was what screwed me up the most. Not having the ability to practice that real like side hill shots and stuff like that. But I'm gonna figure that out for next year. I don't know how. I'm gonna figure that out.
I was say, what's your one like new practice strategy? What are you gonna incorporate into your practice?
The biggest thing that I'm going to do, I think I'm going to learn the peak elevation of all my my shots.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the Leopold Full Draw 5
Or does it
for you.
You put your ballistics in it?
I know that one does it, and I've got the SIG Kilo, and it doesn't do that. And I don't. I mean, it could definitely come into play in a hunting environment. I mean, how many times have we heard the guy say, you know, I drew back, let it go, and it hit a limb.
I was gonna say, but it shows you. So you put your ballistics in it. So your bow shoots 300 feet per second. You put that in it. Your arrows 425 grain. Put that in it. It shows you when you click it. It shows you above the reticle,
your peak height.
But seeing it.
Yeah, you have to. And
sometimes you're so focused on the range,
you're not looking at the peak.
You know what? And it's just part of it. You know.
I think that's the one thing, and trying to shoot on uneven footing Not so much the elevation.
Just like if it's a root or just not being able to be in your natural
Yeah,
stance.
I don't know if I go find like a little ramp or something.
Have you seen dudes with the balancing ball?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like I think something that would be really cool would be to get an endo board and try and
That's what they do.
shoot off an endo board. It would be insanely difficult, but I think if you could get that, you get your balance and you could shoot off of it, it probably would.
I'm gonna send you a couple of things off Instagram. There's a guy that does it on like a yoga ball. Dude, he'll jump on the yoga ball, and like he's even done it like where he's on the ball and jumps to like a different level and does the same thing, and then pulls one out like 40, 80 yards, and they're money. I don't know how.
I need a lot more upper body strength for all
Well,
that.
I'm also saying like, is it practical?
Yeah, hey, how many times does he do the video?
Right. Yep, literally. That's another thing. The curtains. They show
Yeah.
He's showing the misses.
Literally, dude.
No, but the one time you do get it, it's pretty gratifying.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know. It is social media, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. I kill myself thinking like, but that's also what drives perfection and discipline in us because we're believing it, and next thing you know, we're actual badass archers.
Well,
so
to
it's
a
like,
point, but yeah, it definitely drives. It definitely 100% drives to make you a better. And it's anything, shooting a bow, shooting a rifle, playing golf. Ricky Fowler's not putting his shanks on Instagram. It's just it's just how it is. And
there's a lot of branding to it. You know what I mean? When you're John Dudley and you want people to come buy your crap, you can't be over there showing them you putting arrows in trees.
at the same time, though, for me, it's humility and like it's genuine, and I like you more because of it. Like
100%.
you're just like me.
Yeah,
you're just like me.
We're definitely the
Exception is a rule.
yeah, because a lot of people because you're on TV or you're on the internet, you're perfect. Because that's what
I know.
society wants them to think is
I
that they
know.
got there by being perfect. But
I think genuine is more valuable than anything, in my opinion.
we all know that they got there by opportunity, not by perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And that's you got to keep that in the back of your mind. Anybody most people that are in that sort of position, they got there by opportunity, not by perfection. We all nobody. I mean, they're good at what they do, but they're not perfect.
Yeah.
Is there something you're gonna do, add to your training or practice that like you learned from that tack trip, or just a tack trip in general?
I'm going to be more disciplined on my whole shot process because I noticed, I was telling you earlier, my nose on the string,
Mm-hmm.
I get just complacent, and I'm going to put a nose button on there, and I may take it back off, but I may leave it, where it forces me every single time to know that my nose is touching the exact same spot.
Same pressure.
I've been playing with that idea myself.
I got everything else down. My grip is good. My stance is good. It wouldn't hurt to maybe throw a couple rocks in my practice range and just kind of throw my footing off a little bit. I've been thinking about that, but nothing crazy like the bouncing board. Just enough where there's a root or something.
Mm-hmm.
But just reps for me every day. Just, I've been focusing on my projects and other things, and I noticed that I'm slipping a little bit just because I'm letting it. I mean, it's okay. I'm human just like everyone else, and that's the most gratifying thing of all of it. For me, is it just comes full circle. It's like, all right, you can only be good at so many things to such a high level, and
you want to be more than just an archer.
Yeah.
If you want to dedicate your whole life to it, it'd be easy, and you could be a magnificent one. But
that's my point in all of it.
You got other goals too. So
I have to keep my head on, but I'm rotating them. So what I find is there's balance in all of it. Is shoot as much as I can, but still try to work on certain projects and things, and then it ebbs and flows kind of for me. Like I'm really good at a lot of different things, and I can't be the best at all of them. So I got to kind of split my time. But when I shoot with you guys, it reevaluate or like I relook at it, and I'm like, all right, it relight my fire earlier. I'm like, I gotta put more time in. So I don't know. Just for me, the takeaway, the biggest thing for me was just having a good time with all of my friends, and I felt like this was the first. Well, my family went last year, so that was an awesome trip. Great time. Had a great time, and I hope they go next year, and we can all meet up and do the thing separately but together. If that makes sense. But it was really cool to like have a group of guys that like I was looking for probably in the beginning. Like I wished that the first trip was like that, but it was such a new thing that somebody had to go figure it out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm glad you kind of did, like, you were the guy. Like, thanks for that, because, I mean, you opened all of us. I would have probably never gone and done that. You know, after you brought it up, I, like, saw a little bit, and looked around online a little bit, and like anything else, there's, you know, 50-50 online reviews on it, and half of the people are like, oh, this is so great, this is the funnest thing ever, and then you got the other half, they're like, this is dumb, who wants to go do that, you look like an idiot shooting foam blocks in the mountain. And I actually was sitting on the lift coming back down, and I was texting with somebody, and they're like, so what are you doing exactly? I said, well, me and my buddies went up in the mountains, we rode the ski lifts up with our bows, and now we're shooting at a bunch of foam targets as we walk down the mountain. And when you say it out loud, it sounds ridiculous. When you
agree.
do it, it's like, oh man, this is a hoot.
It's a blast,
It's
man.
so much fun. It's so much fun.
My biggest thing with it is like you're there with lots of people that are the same people. Like they're the same as you. See, like nobody was mad at that the lift broke. They were all like, all right, let's just figure it out. Like nobody was throwing their arms up and like huffing and puffing.
I didn't hear
like,
anybody really.
Except for Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Just kidding, Dallas.
I just think it's just a good time and good people. They're all like me, so it's like one of the very few things that I can look at somebody and be like, all right, they're like me.
Yeah.
Because
it would be really easy to make friends there.
Yeah.
Just like go up, talk to somebody, and be like, hey.
I mean, look at Brent and Peepaw. I mean,
Dave. Yeah,
Dave.
Great people.
I call him Peepaw because I can never remember Dave. It's just kind of stuck.
The nicest people. And I met them the first year. Invited me to their bear camp on the 7th target. And I'm like, is this real life? Are they guides? Is it, you know, like, and we've been friends ever since. They were on here. And they came down here, had a great time. We hunted and shared hunts from here on out. I'm like, I have forever friends just from being an archer.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Where else do you get that at? I mean, I'm sure that there's other avenues, but like, just because we had a common interest.
Well, like, also, I will say the industry itself is much more friendly than a lot of industries I've been in. You could walk up and talk to any of those guys that, like we say, the guys you see on Instagram or TikTok or Scott Evans or Ty Jordan or any of those guys. They were all there and were so excited for people to come up and talk to them.
Yeah, they were taking pictures and answering questions.
And just, hey, thanks for the support. Thanks for watching my stuff online. Where, you know, I've met, and we'll call them celebrities because that's what they are. People know who they are. And by definition, these guys are archery celebrities. And I have met celebrities in other industries, and we all have, that are like, get away from me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to be bothered. I'm here trying to relax. I'm here trying to do, not these guys. There was, you know, so much humility in the group itself, in the whole thing, not just there was nobody there that was, I'm the best. Everybody there was like, man, I hope I got arrows left when I come off the mountain, you know, and that's, I think that makes it so much easier. And then, you know, you walk around and talk to these guys and you find out that, you know, they're not any different. They shoot the same way we do, and they just have more opportunities than we do because of where they've been. But they're not any better they're not any better or any worse than we are. They're just have put themselves out there. Rick, what's one thing you take away from the trip that you didn't necessarily learn at full draw, if you know what I mean?
That it gave me a little bit of the experience of like what everybody tells you when you get into like hunting. So like you can't just jump into hunting. You have to like either learn to shoot a gun or learn to shoot a bow. So like as I learned to shoot a bow, even before I decided whether I was gonna try to hunt or not, people kind of like telling you like you're not ready, like you don't know. And it's like with a lot of things are like that, and like of like you just don't know until it's at that time. You can't prepare for it, and I think tack and like having to walk through the mountains and
shoot at your foam, like foam, even though they're foam targets, but like, you know, your heart's elevated and there's like a lot more going on of like, it's just different than sitting in your backyard shooting at a square target or a piece of paper. Adding all that, like that tack element to it, changes the game, and it kind of shows you that it's like, yeah, it's different just shooting at a foam target, having to deal with all these real elements and distractions and stuff. So just gives you a taste of,
Yeah. Just wait till you let one.
yeah, you're not ready, you know, until you are. So.
I can't wait I can't wait for that phone call.
You might.
Man, I killed one.
Who knows? You might be there.
I hope so. I hope so.
Dude,
Man, how about you?
Even last weekend with the Nanocoke shoot, you know, it was like we practiced in our backyards all the time. We're so used to our own targets. Mm-hmm. Like, even though they're far out and you walk out, but it's like it's home.
That's why I bug you so much, because I shoot every day. So I first thing in the morning, and I shoot, you know, a lot after dark, after my kids go to bed. I turn the lights on and I shoot at night. But I can open up my doors in my shop, come to full draw, and that pin just knows where to go.
Because
I shoot it every day. But and you know, I probably annoy the heck out of you, but I call him probably 3 times a week, like, hey, you want to shoot? And no is an acceptable answer. No is a completely
I got shit to do.
No is a completely acceptable answer, but like,
I try.
I know you do. No, it's all good. But I like going somewhere different and seeing something different, and like, okay, I have to think about this target, not I know exactly how to shoot. And
I think changing anything, changing a release, changing the target, even just where the target is, before I got my setup where I really wanted it, I would move it around, and I found that like refreshing. Where I got it now is like, it's getting repetitive. The target's always in the same place. My markers for yardages are kind of, so I'm like always standing kind of in the same place, and like you guys just said, it's like home of like, even though it's 80 yards, standing by that one tree, I'll go out there in the dark and shoot it. I know right where it's gonna go. So walking up the hill or going to your buddy's house and even just looking at a different target is definitely
even just a different target.
Yeah, different color, different shape, anything.
Yeah.
You've got, like, I could switch all my targets out we could all swap targets, and it would be like a whole new, we all got a brand new range. Mm-hmm. What about you? What's one thing you took away from this week, or this TAC week, that you didn't learn at full draw?
I don't know, man. I just enjoyed the whole experience, honestly. Like the feeling, the group that we went with, and the shenanigans and all the stuff at the Airbnb, and being able to let loose a little bit. That's and like have a vacation. Like this year the family didn't go, so I didn't have to be like dad on the mountain too, and like referee and all this stuff. So it was a little bit different for me for the past 2 years. But I enjoyed both sides of it. Like, I don't mind either way. But it was awesome to cook food, and we had good burgers and awesome cinnamon rolls. The best thing we've ever made on the Blackstone. And
so there was times there during our trip that you were still dad,
which was awesome, man. I love that stuff. But I like doing that stuff because I like doing it.
I know.
It's you guys happen to be there to
to enjoy it. Yeah.
So. But we do a lot of, like, I go off-roading a lot. You've been on some of the trips, too, and it goes hand in hand. Like, that's what I like to do is cook, and...
just kind of...
I don't know. I just had a great time. And seeing people I haven't seen in a while, meeting new friends, talking to people. One of my favorite things this year was the IV drip. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Same.
Hands down.
I was in Greece talking about it. I was like, can't wait to go home and get another one.
Dude, that's a game changer, man.
I'll have to try that. I didn't go that route, but I'll have to try that next time.
We just happened to be walking by in this group, or this, what was it, a table or a tent of like health, whatever, IV. We saw the guy, he looked like he was in bad shape, but he was getting one, and we looked at each other and we're like, dude, both kind of reluctant, but like wanted to try it. So
it was one of those, I'll do it if you do it. We both wanted to do it. So.
Yeah, it was awesome. I like that a lot. I think it's a great idea too. Like, because you're all dehydrated. We were not out super late, but we were up late, up early.
Hiking the whole day before.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna explore that. If you haven't had an IV drip, dude, hands down. They put in what was it was a bio.
Man, we had vitamin B and it was a few things. Nice little cocktail.
It was awesome.
I'll try that.
Injected it, 20 minutes sitting in a chair, chilling at the fan.
That's probably the best part.
It was awesome, man. I mean, it was even, I don't know, it's kind of weird because it was cool. Like the fluid was cool going into your arm.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, it was like a weird sensation. But overall, I just had a great time. And catching up with the Frontinas, man, I can't even say how thankful I am for their friendship. For
I
real.
can't wait to see those guys.
Yeah, that was a great experience.
I really hope they come down, and I know Brent's got a lot going on family-wise this year.
They're going to miss this year, but they'll be back
Yeah.
following year.
Next year we'll get them back. I'll
Yeah.
get them down
I
here.
really enjoyed Wes checking out all the tents too.
Wes was gadget guy, dude.
You were rolling through them all.
Oh yeah, the gadgets. Yeah.
You
I will
made
say-
it through all of them before I got down the first line.
I mean, I met some really nice people. Some, the products that you buy. It's interesting to put a face with a name.
It's nice though. They're real
Be
people.
Real.
It was
And oh god, I can't think of his name. From Ivory Holsters.
Gabriel.
Gabriel from Ivory Holsters. I mean, super nice people. But I will say the one thing that I took away from this weekend, and you guys are all going to smile when I say this, is safety first, boys.
Yeah.
Safety first.
Never get complacent.
Never get complacent. I'll go ahead and tell the story. I'll tell it myself.
All right.
And-
I wasn't gonna bring it up, but let's do
somebody
it.
got to.
Let's do it, dude.
So we go first night. We're up at the house. and
Paint us a picture, Wes.
We're all me and Rick are downstairs, and we decided we were going to start shooting out back around the fire pit.
We had a
And
fire going. Ambiance was next level with those string lights.
Vibes were high, and
Dude, it was the best. Awesome. Like, it was awesome.
and these guys are upstairs talking, and Rick and I are listening to them talk upstairs.
Yeah,
And
I had just come from upstairs.
And
So
we were shooting downstairs outside on the back porch and couldn't see our pins. So we took a step back, moved into the doorway, and all of a sudden everything was crystal clear. Then you could see everything. But so made a couple shots out the door and no big deal. And then went and got the arrows, came back and reset for another shot. And Rick's like, I'm gonna video this. Pulled out his camera and
Thank God you did.
just as my release broke off, just after, I see something, I hear something, and I look, and Dallas is putting his bow down right in front of the door that I just shot through. And very, very, very easily could have killed him. Very easily could have killed Dallas. My fault completely. Should have said something, but like you said, we were all in the zone, and nobody was thinking about bad things, and complacency happens. But fortunately, nobody got injured, and I don't know about the other 4 guys there, but I can tell you that I have thought about that one a lot. That one haunts me, even though nobody got hurt, even though it was a learning lesson. I to this day still beat myself up over that arrow. It was stupid. I take full responsibility for it, but I learned something, and if it hopefully it will keep things like that from happening again. And even if me telling this story helps one person from having that happen again, that's why I want to tell it. It's not because I'm not. I mean, I'm embarrassed of it, absolutely embarrassed. But it could have happened to anybody. We just
Could have been a way different story.
it could have been a way different story 2-3 seconds later, and it would have been a way different story. But we were excited. Everybody was thinking about everything. All we were thinking about was shooting. We'd stopped at the range, let's shoot. And then we got to the house at the target's level, let's shoot. And
Had all the ingredients for a bad outcome.
yeah, it did.
And luckily,
thank God the timing worked out. It didn't happen. But we all definitely everybody stopped. Because we'd been traveling and just there were so many things. Like you said, it's the perfect recipe for
everyone's gonna have fun. It's exciting. We're all shooting. We're getting our bows. Like it was. But when you break it down to the surface level and you look at what we were actually doing, you're like, oh, yeah, you're shooting through a door.
shooting outside or shooting from inside outside, and you had nothing.
And
No
more
indication.
people were coming in there, so it's easy to look at it and critique it, but
super
in the
easy.
moment,
seemed innocent.
It was
very innocent.
It was completely innocent.
I see it on both sides, and it's
and
like
that's why
that's how accidents happen.
That's
though.
why I wanted to tell the story, is that
That's
it
exactly
was
how they happen.
sheer innocence. I mean, we were just Rick was standing right there with me. He's like, I want to film this one, and it wasn't. We never crossed our mind at the time, in the second when it was happening. Never crossed our mind that this could kill somebody or this could hurt somebody very bad.
Well, that was a big reminder of it for me, right then and there. But getting into it even like newly, I didn't like respect it. Like I wouldn't like. I respected like the line of fire with a bow, but like being at full draw, I never like really put too much thought into it of like how like careful I needed to be, because I was like, dude, it's so much stored energy. So for me personally, like coming from like with a lot of firearms experience, like gun safety is super important and like strict. I didn't feel like that, and like not with that story, but just like handling a bow and having one. I never like really put too much thought into it until one day I was like, oh yeah, like again, so much stored energy. You kind of got to be careful with this thing.
Oh yeah, super careful. I mean, that was, nobody was being I wasn't being necessarily uncareful with the bow.
No,
it was the scenario in which we were using it and the setup and how we were shooting out of the doorway.
Yeah.
And there was a walkway coming down that, and nobody hollered and said, "Hey, don't come through this door."
Hindsight's always 20/20.
Always
man.
20/20.
That's how great stories are born.
Again, that's why I wanted, if anybody wouldn't want that story told, it should be me. But if somebody hears that and that crosses their mind one time before they do something.
Definitely reminder for everyone in any avenue that you're interested in. Honestly, just take a second.
There was a joke there for a while, that I was letting them rip into the ceiling, and a lot of that was some new release issues and getting used to things there. And I try and be fairly safe, and I think that's why I beat myself up over it the most, was because after it was all said and done, I'm like, God, I can't believe that I didn't play that scenario out in my head beforehand. But
dude, it's easy to do, man, and that's what we preach to everyone about safety. I would do it every time with the 4-Hers, with arrows, carrying arrows. But how many times you walk back with an arrow, you're just checking the field point or something, you could trip, fall on it, right? So like, one of the biggest reminders for me last year with safety, and here I am lacking, I wasn't thinking about it. I'm walking in the woods and I tripped, and I still think about it. I can't believe I didn't put my own eye out, because I was carrying an arrow. I was trying to put it in my single arrow quiver on my bow, and I hadn't quite got it there, and I forget the whole scenario, but I literally tripped and like grabbed something and almost literally put my own eye out. And I was like, it's how it happens though. Like that's why they're accidents, because nobody's expecting it to happen. Yeah. It shouldn't have happened, but some chain of events led to it to happen, and here you are. So I don't know. Luckily, we walked away unscathed. Dallas has all his limbs and all his toes, and everyone's safe, and we don't have any issues. Yeah, he did collect all the money.
He did collect all the money. I actually gave up halfway through the second day and was like, here you go, just take my money. And after that, magically I started shooting well.
Surprising.
I guess money will do to you, man.
All in all, good time, man. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole trip.
Can't wait for next year.
Yeah, and that's where I was going next.
Hope we can get tickets.
Well, I also think, and Rick said this when we were up there, and I'm like, I haven't stopped thinking about it since. But like,
Colorado,
dude, I don't care if nobody else goes. You and I are going to Colorado next year.
Yeah, we're gonna do
the Denver one,
external one, travel.
Yeah, I mean, God, how fun would that be because after you stop and think about it, like everything I've got going on right now in my life, like that vacation was much needed. And to be able to do that, and like for what we did it for, I mean, really all in all, it was fairly reasonably priced. That nothing was expensive.
Fuel, food, arrows.
And then Rick was like, we could fly to Colorado for basically what we paid in fuel here, and I looked it up, and he wasn't wrong. No. So it's like,
it'd be cool to see different scenery too. The front team has been talking about it too, because they can only shoot it so many times before it gets boring.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I can see where if you shot that, and again, this being my first year, I don't know, but mean, it looks to me by what I could gather by looking at the trees and the rocks that were around where the targets are. They put the targets in the same spot every year.
Yeah, it doesn't change much.
So I mean,
But to be real cool, the course was really cool
because it was new,
Yep.
right? But if I can see where
knock-on's the same. Yep, every year it's the same.
But like, only shooting it once a year. I could get by doing it again, but being able to go and see different things and shoot different places, and like going out to Colorado or Montana. Right now, I think they just did
Even
one.
Vermont would be cool.
Yeah, the one up in Killington would be super cool. I know that one's a lot smaller from what I've seen, but I mean, they have the perfect setup. I mean, they put these things in the middle of the summer on a ski resort.
Mm-hmm. I'm down, dude. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm down. Count me in.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely got to do the PA one. I'm in for that one forever at this point. And
Yeah.
I had so much fun. I can't. If they did that once a month, I'd probably go.
I don't know. There is something to once a year though.
Yeah,
Oh, it's definitely
keep the Christmas factor.
it's definitely the Super Bowl for us. But I could definitely see me wanting to go. Maybe one year go to Vermont, maybe the next year go to Colorado, do one out in Montana.
I just like to see the different scenery in different states, and I don't know. That's the cool part for me to see the ranges and.
Also I could see it metastasizing into like what happened with you and Brent and Dave. You meet these people, you go places and you meet people, and the next thing you know, we have Sika deer here that most places they look at you like you got two heads when you tell them we have baby elk here, and they start explaining to them what they are, and we have some really really unique opportunity here that nobody else in the country has, and it's right in our backyard.
Right.
And to be able to say, hey, you want to come down and chase these Sika deer, and then I'll come out and chase antelope with you. We don't have antelope here, so it kind of opens up more doors, and you meet people from different parts of the world and your country, and everybody hunts differently. It's really interesting, because we get in our own little bubble here on how we turkey hunt or how we deer hunt or duck hunt or whatever, and then you go out somewhere else and you hunt with different people and they do it completely different. And they somehow get the same outcome. It's interesting.
Definitely different perspectives too, and different personalities, meeting new people, and I'm always like with the Frontinos, they're like so hospitable, like they're so nice. I'm like, what's the catch?
Dude, shout out to them. I couldn't believe I felt like family after knowing them for like 10 or 15 minutes.
100%.
Literally
dude.
felt
Oh yeah,
They're the best.
I was really jealous that you guys were, eating eggs and sausage with Grandma on the couch at 92 years old.
She's awesome. Hazel.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Good time, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Everyone couldn't ask for a better crew. Everything worked out perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way it goes,
Can't
man.
wait to do it again.
Good group of dudes doing good stuff, man.
Absolutely.
You want to close her out?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys coming on, hanging out, recapping the whole TAC deal.
Can't wait to do it again next year.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Next year we'll have to do a pre-tac and then a post-tac.
Yeah. We got to do a TAC campfire. I
That
hope.
would- that
I
would-
wanted to do that this year, but
Well, that would be cool.
too much going on.
That would be cool.
Everyone's
to do,
in the
like,
moment.
Saturday night or Friday night, like after we're done.
If we lock in, we can do it. But a lot of times we're just having a good time. Like I couldn't break
It's
the
hard.
cameras out.
Yeah, it's hard to like capture things now.
Yeah.
So you gotta
Yeah.
like already have them set up. And
I mean, even though I brought, I had so much film equipment with me.
I know.
And I
Living
think
in the moment.
I had it out for maybe a half hour.
Oh, that's right. You do have a bunch of good videos of the fire and all that.
Yeah, I got
shooting out there.
some. Yeah, it's basically I just let the thing run.
Yeah.
So I got good video of us talking about Dallas almost getting his spleen pierced.
Good times. Good times. All right. Well, let's close her out. Get out of here.
Cool.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, man.
All right. See ya.